Hey, well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, man, it don't work without you guys. I'm just curious, what are you doing? What are you guys doing today without football, NFL football? Are you watching XFL? Are you spending extra time at mama doing the honeydew list? What are your plans? Me, as always, I got work to do. The work never ends for me. I have to make up for the time I was gone. Go Dallas Renegade. What's up, Chris? How you doing? I got about 10 orders for these shot glass racks that I got to get going. So I'm in here working on these now. I've got my blanks and stuff together and cutting the pieces so that way Michael can start painting the things. And of course, got to go visit some friends this afternoon, hang out with them for a bit. It's a reveal party for a baby shower. So that's what I got to do. What are you guys doing? And before I start cutting some stuff, I'll go ahead and do some stuff that's a little quiet, so we can start this conversation on. So, yes, ma'am.
Is there a way for you to leave your shoes right here and come into the house? Because I just cleaned out and you tracked all kinds of sawdust in here.
Okay, I'll take my shoes off right there inside the door. In the mud closet. Yeah, Mama putting foot in ass, saying I'm tracking too much dust. She said I'm a dusty old ass. You need a Jobu's Army t-shirt? Okay. Well, I don't have that one made up yet. Oh, so the Raiders are going to try and get Tom Brady. Interesting. Brady to the Raiders. Well, look. Here's the thing. It's been a few weeks since I barbecued. Here's the thing. You guys are listening to and thinking about if we were getting paid $33 million. And we're not. We're not anywhere near on that, but we're not the top 20 of our field in the world. There's only a few people who can succeed. And in fact, you're talking about very, very few ever that have been able to do that. So stop looking at it from our perspective of being people that will never make that kind of money in our lifetime. Here's the thing. I know all of us look at that and say, $33 million, man, that's life-changing, generational money. Just take it. Just take anything. But not every deal, not every $33 million deal is equal. You don't know what was put into that deal in comparison to everything else, to everybody else. It could be that you got 1 year guarantee. And it's like, wait a minute. I played 4 years. I've already played longer than the life expectancy of the NFL players without being compensated. Think about Sam Bradford getting like a $50 million contract before he ever played a play in the NFL and taking home $125 million. And I'm not sure that he ever won a playoff game. And then you're Dak Prescott and you're looking at this deal and knowing that Carson Wentz got like $100 million guaranteed, Jared Goff got $100 million guaranteed. How come you're only guaranteeing me like 50 or 60 or something? We don't know what that was. So understand, it's not like the Dallas Cowboys always go through and do the right thing. It's not. Dallas Cowboys are like any business. You may love the company you work for, but that doesn't mean they're going to pay you a cent more than they absolutely positively have to. And the Cowboys always try and make the players look terrible. Always. They all try and make every player look like he's lucky that he's a Dallas Cowboy, you know? Because you're a Dallas Cowboy, you should be giving us a break. because you're a Dallas Cowboy, you're going to make other money off the field. And so the normal rules don't apply. And as everybody keeps saying, well, Dak, he should have been happy with less money, but nobody said that Carson Wentz should have taken less money because he needs to get some more wide receivers, right? They didn't say Carson Wentz, they could use some cornerbacks, so maybe Carson Wentz should have taken some less money. They don't look at the Los Angeles Rams and say, Jared Goff, you guys don't have first-round draft picks the next 2 years. Todd Gurley is a waste of money. Maybe you should take less money so we can get another running back and some other people on the team to help you succeed. You know what I'm saying? Nobody said any of that. Blame the agent. I ain't blaming the agent. Listen, have you seen some of the NFL players after football? Let me put it this way. Would you like to work in, say, a nuclear power plant that had issues, that that me going to work is going to shorten my life expectancy and I may be glowing in the dark? Would you look and turn around and say, you know what, I'll take less money to do that job? Knowing that it could hurt me. Or working I'm going to give you maybe nuclear power plant. Coal mine. Here I am, I'm working in a coal mine. I'm going to go ahead and, because I'm worried about the company surviving, I'm going to take less money to risk my life in that coal mine. Knowing that there could be a collapse. Knowing I could get black lung or, that, let's say, lumberjack. Should I go ahead and take less money than the guy next to me because I'm a team player? You wouldn't do that. You'd look at that and say, man, I'm risking my neck out here. I deserve every penny that everybody else is getting. That tree can fall on me just like it can fall on that guy. And on top of it, I'm not calling in sick. I'm not out because I don't feel good today. I'm here every day. And you expect me to take a pay cut? Come on, man. Unless you are willing to do that yourself, that you tomorrow will go to work and say, you know what, company, hey, I'm going to take less money. Do not tell Dak to do the same thing. Do not if you can't do something yourself, don't tell somebody else to do the same thing. Because it's amazing that here we are talking about Dak shouldn't get paid, and I can go through, in fact, it's a video I'm going to be doing later on, and I can look and say, we shouldn't have paid Zeke Elliott. We shouldn't have played Zeke Elliott because you look at the odds. Top 10 running backs and top paid running backs are two totally different things. Of the top 10 two running backs, I think only two top 10 paid. Only two of them are in the top 10 in yardage. And you can look at a lot of these guys that are paid like Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley, Melvin Gordon. These guys that we think are great running backs that got paid, they're not performing. The guys that are performing in running backs are the guys that are young, the Travis Henrys and things. Yet, we go ahead and we pay our running back $15 million a year. The highest in the NFL. I'm not saying that he's going to drop off the face of the earth next year, but if you play the numbers, you look at that and say, that was a bad deal. You look at quarterbacks. Look at how old quarterbacks are. Tom Brady, 42. Drew Brees, isn't he like 42 now? Phillip Rivers, late 30s. Eli just retired, late 30s. So the place to gamble when you have one that plays well is quarterback, not running back. You look at DeMarcus Lawrence. We paid him top money after 2 years, 2 good years. And now you got a quarterback that's played 4 good years, and you're saying, no, we're not going to pay that guy. He's greedy. Come on, man. Come on. Fair is fair. This will be off-scene fire. Hold tight. Well, it would be stupidity on the Cowboys. it really would to basically you're trying to. I don't think Dak would actually hold out. We're hearing that kind of stuff from the talking heads, not from Dak. What's up, Mike? Hey, I'm doing some work here in the shop, building shot glass racks and things. Tell you what, let me do this next step over here, so that way we can continue the conversation before I actually cut these pieces and do some more work. You can look at directly what the Dallas Cowboys did this past year and say it affected our season. Without a doubt. Zeke Elliott's contract and D-Law's contract. Because both of these guys did not have a full off-season. Zeke was on the beach getting his tan on instead of being in camp getting his run on. And I know he had 1,300 yards, which is not bad. But Zeke Elliott did not have that burst that he had in past years. And I still believe, and I will say it every day, that Zeke Elliott not being at training camp affected his season. D-Law, we got a super chat. Oh, actually, Mr. Antoine Myers, 2-time rushing champ, Pro Bowl every year, instead of not getting top money. I'm just pointing out, listen, Antoine, appreciate the super chat. And by the way, I'm going to do, I brought some stuff back from the Super Bowl. I'm going to start doing some giveaways for anybody that gives super chats. I'm not complaining about Zeke Elliott, but I think Zeke Elliott, you can look how many times he was like, I need a blow. I need a break. I need a breather. I'm tired. You can look at Minnesota game after he had a great run and Tony Pollard was injured. The backup running back was our fullback. I need a blow. And this is a critical drive that had this drive gotten the first down, we could have got a score. We could have got a win and maybe made the playoffs. I don't need my running back saying, I need a break. I needed my running back saying, no, I'm going to stay out here because I'm here to win the game. And see, that goes back to being held out. I'm not saying he shouldn't have got paid. See, this is where a lot of people will take what I say and take it as something derogatory. It's not. When I compare Dak Prescott to Tony Romo's situation, it's not that I'm trying to bring Tony Romo down and say he's a bum. I'm not. What I'm trying to point out is this is the norm. This is what you believe. Thanks again for that super chat there. Fans complained, said they want Pollard more when it happens. Then it happens at Zeke. No, listen, you're getting Antoine. I love you, man. Appreciate the 2 super chats. I'm not saying we shouldn't use Zeke. In fact, what I'm saying is Zeke should have been there in training camp. I'm not saying he didn't deserve to get paid. I'm never going to get mad at a player for trying to get as much as they can get, because when you see somebody like Tony Dorsett, who is a shell of himself, when you see a guy like Brad Johnson, who's younger than me, who can't physically get out of bed, and he's not 50 yet, you look at that and say, what I am giving up may be me picking up my kids. And when Tony Romo retired, it wasn't like I was happy that Tony Romo retired because I'm like, yeah, get the bum out of here. It was just because I'm glad that you're getting out while you still have your mental faculties, and that you can be able to pick up and hold your kids, because there's a lot of players that can't do that. So what I'm saying is the Cowboys always go through this bluster of and ugliness of, well, we're the good guys. We're the team players. We're looking out for the team. That's what they always try and sell you with, right? And that the player's just being greedy. He's not a team player. He's not that good a player. They go ahead and they break this guy down. But in the end, you made Zeke Elliott the highest paid running back in football. You made DeMarcus Lawrence one of the top pay defensive ends off 2 years. Now we're taking Dak Prescott and we're doing the same thing. And if they end up taking it out and he says, you know what? I finally have to stand up for myself. I have done what I'm supposed to do. I show up every day. I get better. I do my work. And basically they're taking that as a sign of weakness, figuring we can do anything to Dak because he going to be here. Other people put a gun to other teams' heads. Russell Wilson did. Russell Wilson, pay me by April 15th or I'll never sign a deal with you. And they got that done at like 11 o'clock on April 15th. And so my point being is this. For you to sign Dak, franchise tag him, and try and trade him elsewhere and turn around and sign Tom Brady, sorry. Tom Brady is not the same guy he was 3 years ago. And when you look at what happens to quarterbacks and most players, it's almost like being punch drunk where all of a sudden they hit a wall. And I can look back and say Tom Brady, the end of the year before, was not that great a quarterback. He came back down to earth. You look at the last part of this year, Tom Brady was not the reason they were winning. It was that defense and special teams that made all the difference in the world. You can look at the XFL game yesterday that I went to. The reasons why DC won, some takeaways, pick six, and a block punt that ended up being a score. It wasn't that Cardell Jones played an outstanding game and lit it up on the scoreboard. Their defense and special teams helped them. With our team, we look at it and say Jimmy Garoppolo is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott because he was in the Super Bowl. But we don't look at the fact that in a playoff game, he only threw 9 passes because he had a great running game and he had a defense that played lights out. We don't look at the loss to New England and say, Bill Belichick blocked a punt that gave them excellent field position, and that score won the game. We don't look that we lost 6 games by 1 score because our defense gave up a whole lot of points. We all point back to the quarterback. And when people say things like, well, you know what, Dak, he didn't have a winning season, he didn't lead us to a playoff, he shouldn't get paid. Well, in the 7 years that Tony Romo started as the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys, he only had 2 winning seasons, and he had 3 seasons that were 8-8, 8-8, 8-8. I'm not saying that his numbers weren't good because they were. But the team didn't go any further than where we are right now. So we end up having different, what is the word I'm looking for? Criteria when it comes to Dak. Now, Pat Mahomes. Okay, here's the thing. We're saying we can't pay Dak Prescott because we won't be able to sign other people. That's what people are saying, right? We need to penny pitch on quarterback, even though the salary cap keeps going up every year and will explode once they do this new collective bargaining agreement, right? We don't look at it. We don't look that we have 5th most amount of money on the cap, right? Everybody questions our move on that. But let's take Kansas City right now. Pat Mahomes. He about to get paid. Make no mistake about it. Pat Mahomes is about to get paid. Right? Would you argue with Pat Mahomes being the highest paid quarterback in the NFL? Do you look at that and say, it's okay to pay him the most amount of money because he's Pat Mahomes and they'll continue to win because he's Pat Mahomes? Is that the way you look at it? Because here's the difference. Today, right now, they only have $13 million in cap space as opposed to 77 where we are. So they've got $63 million less in money to pay their players, their guys. So in order to sign Pat Mahomes, because they say they want to get that done as soon as the collective bargaining agreement is done, they're going to have to cut players off their team. Let me say that again. They got $13 million. People are talking about he's going to be over $40 million. Last I checked, when you say $40 million a year and you got 13, that means you're $27 million in the hole just to pay him. Let me say that again. In order to pay Pat Mahomes that $40 million, they could be about $27 million in the hole to do that. But it's funny because they don't say, well, Pat Mahomes, you're the face of the NFL, buddy. You're going to get all kinds of endorsements. In fact, you've already got some. State Farm. You got endorsements. You should take a team-friendly deal because we've won the Super Bowl. We got a lot of other guys that are free agents that are going to want to get paid too. So if you take a team-friendly deal, we can try and be like New England. They don't say that though, do they? And I'm not going to go that he's 1,000,000 times better. I'm not going to go that far because he's like everybody else. I saw some passes in the Super Bowl that were thrown in the dirt by Pat Mahomes. Am I wrong? For some reason, some of you guys think that every single pass, every single play is always perfect by a quarterback. And there is no quarterback that's like that. Sorry. Because you've been watching too much ESPN talking heads that are trying to get clicks. Not every pass is right here. Dak Prescott get a pass right here. His accuracy is an issue. I'm looking at guys like Hopkins that are going up and one-handed and making plays that are making the quarterback look even better. I'm not saying Deshaun Watson's not a great quarterback. I'm not. But I'm going to tell you, just go watch a game, Pat Mahomes, and tell me that there's not a couple passes that aren't perfect. Go watch a game of Deshaun Watkins, and tell me that every pass play that he has is perfect. And I won't even talk about but us leading the league in drop passes. Because see, I see some guys that are making their quarterback look even better because of the plays they make by one-handed catches where they're jumping out of the building, jump balls that they're getting, taking the ball away from the defender. We don't look at those and say, well, that was a bad pass, but the receiver saved them. They're going to say, oh, man, look at the numbers. We have like Terrence Williams have the ball right here on his hands, hits his body, bounces up, and it's a pick six. Dak threw a bad pass. Look, Dak had an interception. We don't look at that and say, the receiver dropped the damn ball. The receiver caused the pick six. We don't, not with Dak. Robert Smith, see, I know the game. I know the game, you guys. I got you. The game is, let's see if we can get Mark to go off. I get it. I got it. Because a lot of guys know I will react. But this is a new off season. You're not going to get me. And if you believe that Dak Prescott, here's the thing. Here's the great thing. If you believe that Dak Prescott's a bum and you don't like him, well, that's fine. You can be that way. You are free to have your opinion in the same way I'm free to have mine. I'm just sitting here looking at yesterday because you guys believe everything that the talking heads and the experts tell you. Actually, let me tighten this up, and I'm going to go grab my computer real quick. I'm going to grab my computer real quick because I'm going to prove something to you. Don't go nowhere. Don't go nowhere. Don't. Welcome to Sunday here in Jobu's workshop. He ain't a bum. He's just average. Hold on.
Life is not easy. But alongside the hardship, there is hope. Basketball is a religion to us. This is a temple in many ways to a lot of Filipinos. We use that as escapism for us to forget about everyday problems. 5 a.m. every morning, they play basketball. Kahit sabihin natin, may curfew na. Ngayon pa rin nagano ang basketball. Kasi pickup game with wages. People go in for the kill for 300 pesos. And then when they win, they have food. They feed their families. The center of our life here.
In 1965, tenement residents used their own money and own supplies to build the fort. From the start, it was more than just a place to play. It was a sanctuary.
Okay, you still there? Cool. Okay. Average quarterback. Just hold on.
The community is strong,
Um,
but the tenement structure has been weakened. The building sits on a fault line that shifts roughly every 400 years and is due for a major movement. In 2010, the government condemned the tenement and determined the building should be torn down.
okay. All right. So we're saying that Dak Prescott is average, right? That he's a bum. Now, I want you to think about something here. Let's think about 2017. The receivers that Dak Prescott had 2017. Terrence Williams, Bryce Butler, Cole Beasley. Did Bryce Butler have more than 10 catches after he left Dallas? Did Terrence Williams make it to another team? Cole Beasley did okay. I mean, he's doing okay in Buffalo. But you can't look at those guys and say, oh man, those are great wide receivers, right? But those are the guys he was throwing to in 2017. And basically the same guys in 2016 as well. It's not like you were throwing to, say, Julio Jones or Antonio Brown before he went crazy, right? We're also, under Jason Garrett, a running team, right? We were considered a running team, right? We had Zeke Elliott at offensive line, and Zeke Elliott has rushed for all those yards, right? Here's something amazing. I want to give you this. There are, oh wait a minute, that's the wrong one. As crazy as it seems, in the history of the NFL, keep in mind, we're a running team with Jason Garrett that handicapped us. One year, our number one receiver was Terrence Williams. And, oh, no, I'm sorry. Who else was there? Damn. Alan Hearns. I'm sorry. Forgot Alan Hearns in there, who went back to Miami. In the first 4 years in the history of the NFL, passing yards over the first 4 years, Peyton Manning, 16,418 yards. Dan Marino, 16,177 yards. Ryan Tannehill, 15,460. And let me pull up and get exact numbers for Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, 15,778 yards. So in the history of NFL, over the course of their first 4 years, Dak Prescott is third on the list in yardage ever in the first 4 years. Let me say that one more time. So those of you saying that Dak Prescott is just average, keep in mind, we had a shitty wide receiver core one of those years. Shitty. Let me say that again. Shitty. Sorry, Alan Hearns. Sorry, Terrence Williams. Sorry, Cole Beasley. Sorry, Bryce Butler. But you were trash wide receivers in comparison to what some people have. You were a run-first team. There's nobody that's going to argue and say that we were Peyton Manning, air it out. There's nobody that's going to say that. Yet, somehow, He's got the third most yardage in the history of the NFL over the first 4 years. How do you explain that at being average? Because average would mean you're in the middle of the pack. You're not up in the top tier of that. How is that? How is that? That's what I want to know. QBR in his career, 97. Let me go through the history.
Catch that right there, that moment, like it's like I'm walking on, like walking in here. It's pretty cool. It'll be on that part.
Just amazing, so emblematic of what LeBron is able to do now, and how uncanny.
Let's go right here. This is quarterback rating in history. The history. Garrett did something good with Dak? Yeah, he didn't fuck him up like he did every other quarterback. Dak Prescott didn't have a chance to learn anything from Jason Garrett because he had one play in the offseason, in OTAs and practice. He had no training camp where he was the number one guy. He had 2 weeks to get ready. And basically, it was Dak Prescott, what he came in the door with. But let me go through here, because you guys say he's just average. How the hell, if you're average, do you have this list of players, quarterback ratings? Aaron Rodgers right now, 102.4, highest in history. Russell Wilson, 101.2, right? Second highest. Drew Brees at 98.4. Tony Romo, 97.1. Tom Brady, 97. And can you see this? You see right there with Tom Brady, right there. There's Tom Brady, 97. And there's Dak Prescott, 97. The exact same rating as Tom Brady. And yet some of you idiots are out there saying, well, let's go ahead and get Tom Brady's old ass and bring him here and just let Dak walk. Come on, man. Let's be real here. Average. And gangster, that's what I'm saying. Brady wasn't the reason why the team was good. It was the defense and special teams. You can listen. If you took the Dallas Cowboys offense and put it in New England, they won the Super Bowl. Flat out. You take New England's offense from this year and put it on the Cowboys, they're not doing any better than we are. You take the Dallas Cowboys offense, you put it in San Francisco, they beat Kansas City. You put the 49ers offense in Dallas, we're not winning any more games. That's what people don't seem to understand. You had the most yards by far in the NFL. You were the third highest scoring offense in the NFL. It wasn't the freaking offense that lost it for you. It was your special teams that were sorry and your kicker who couldn't kick inside the 50-yard line. And somehow you guys just don't seem to want to get this in your head. You're just saying it's the quarterback. If we get Tom Brady, we're going to the Super Bowl. You are not going to the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Not as this team stands right now. Antoine, you can say that about every quarterback. You can look and say Jared Goff needs to go ahead and stop hitting players late. You look at his Super Bowl game, he had two players wide the hell open and was late delivering the ball where the defender had a chance to go ahead and catch up on him. You can look at Jimmy Garoppolo in the Super Bowl and say, damn, that guy got a long ways to go. You guys keep acting like every quarterback in the NFL is up here and Dak is down here. And it's like, dude, do you look at anybody else besides what Dak does? And I don't think they do, because Dak is polarized. You can look at him and say, oh, well, you know, we're going to get clicks when we talk about Dak Prescott. You can look at Jameis Winston. He's been in here 5 years. 5 years, he got 30 touchdowns, but he also had 30 interceptions. So that guy's got a lot to learn. Marcus Mariota, second pick in the draft. Probably going to be released and go elsewhere. You can say that guy's got a lot to learn. You can look and say Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, they made the playoffs this year, but can you look at Aaron Rodgers and say that was the bad man that willed the team to win? I saw him fold against the Eagles. He couldn't get it first down goal to go for the game winner. You can say Aaron Rodgers has some work to do. You can look at Drew Brees that had a great defense. Well, they got a bunch of work to do. Everybody has work to do. But you were handicapped with a defense that couldn't stop people. You were handicapped with special teams that never gave you good field position. You were handicapped with a dumbass head coach in Jason Garrett. You were right, Raymond. You're right. So here's what I'm going to do. I got work. I got to cut all these pieces. So I'm going to go over here, cut these pieces. Feel free to watch. You guys feel free to watch. And I will make commentary as I go because I got people out there. You guys waiting for me to get your shit done. So I'm going to do that. This is a multi-step process. In building these racks. Okay, so all you Dak haters, I want you guys to name all the. Okay, so if Dak is average, where do you put Carson Wentz and Jared Goff? Let's start with those two. Are those guys average or above average or below average? Okay, so back to my question. Jared Goff, Carson Wentz. Average, above average, below average. Wentz is average or below, but still better than Dak. So, not Mark Holmes. So, you're saying Carson Wentz is better than Dak because of one game that he won. Just one. One game. Because if last I checked, Dak Prescott's record against Carson Wentz, I believe, is 5-1. Am I wrong on that? So you're saying that Carson Wentz, and like I look at that game last year when they were defending Super Bowl champions, and we beat them twice. In fact, I believe Dak Prescott had like 400 yards and won in overtime. But you say that one game, we're not putting in there the first game that we beat them 37-7. We're not saying about that. Where Carson Wentz had what, 3 fumbles? So because he won one game, your argument that he's below average, but he's better than Dak. Do I have that right? Does that sound right to you guys? According to me, I would say he's a top 10 quarterback, which is above average. Had the best statistical year? Yeah. But take a look at his stats versus Dak Prescott in 4 years. Take a look at the fact that he's actually been injured and out 2 years. Take a look at the garbage receivers that we had in 2017. All these things come in play. So you're saying that his third year was one of the best record years, right? That's your thing? Was this year that great? Was his rookie year that great? Because I look at it and say, because here's what you're sold. I love this. Hold on, let me cut some for you. Let me get my thoughts together and I'm going to cut these. I got my thoughts together here now. I got something for you. See, where'd that one go? I dropped one. Hold up. Okay, I lost one. Okay. Here's what's amazing to me. When 2017 happened, everybody said Dak's not elevating the guys around him. Right? And they kept saying Dak is dink and dunk. A term that was only used for one quarterback in the NFL. Actually, let me grab this real quick. Let me get the exact stat because see, here's what some of you guys do. I'm gonna pull my numbers up. As I look on that list, by the way, Carson Wentz is 14th on QBR rating. On rating, as opposed to Dak being 5th, tied with Tom Brady. But let me get Carson. Let me pull this up. Because here's what happens when it comes to Dak Prescott. And this is why a lot of people turn around and say Dak is just average. Because I remember hearing Pro Football Focus say Carson Wentz is a lot better than his stats because he's got guys that are dropping passes. His receivers aren't great. Okay, I'll buy that argument. So his numbers should be better if his receivers caught onto the ball, right? That makes sense. If you did your job and the ball is in the guy's hands and they drop it, of course, your numbers will be better. They had 32 drop passes. Let's say he caught half of those. His numbers definitely would be better, right? How about the Dallas Cowboys that had 43 drop passes this year? 11 more than Philadelphia did. That would mean that if we had caught half of those, Dak might have actually had the NFL record in passing yards this year. Seriously. If you're going to say that about Carson Wentz, then you need to say that same thing about Dak Prescott. And they say, oh, well, he didn't have any receivers. Well, I dare say this. Tight ends, I will make the argument that a great tight end is maybe better or more important than a great number one. Because I'm looking at teams that are winning Super Bowls now. When the Eagles, Zach Ertz. Patriots, the Gronk. You look at now teams that have a great tight end that are winning more Super Bowls than teams with a great wide receiver. Because I saw Julio Jones, who's deemed one of the best wide receivers in football. He didn't win a Super Bowl. I look at Antonio Brown, who was best wide receiver there a couple of years. He didn't win a Super Bowl. I look at T.O. I don't see all these great wide receivers that are winning Super Bowl, but I see the Gronk winning them. I saw these guys winning them. You look at Kansas City and San Francisco, both great tight ends. And when you look at the Eagles, they had actually two great tight ends. Dallas came on, and Zach Ertz is probably the best tight end in football. So don't give me that he didn't have anybody to throw to. Also, too, their offensive line was rated as the best in football. So don't give me this crap that, oh, poor little Carson Wentz, he doesn't have wide receivers. Come on now. Come on now. And take a look at the wide receivers that we have. DJ Rockcut. Take a look at what happened with Amari Cooper, because see, a lot of people out there, let's trade for Derek Carr. He'll be less money than Dak. Well, wait a minute. Wait. What did he do with Amari Cooper? Amari Cooper came here without a training camp, and his numbers were elevated. Dak Prescott elevated Amari Cooper's play over Derek Carr, right? Take a look at Randall Cobb's numbers. Dak Prescott, he had tied for the highest yards per completion in his career with Dak Prescott after leaving the bad man. So when they say, well, a franchise quarterback elevates the play of the guys around him, well, they kind of did that. Dak did that. Take a look at Carson Wentz. I believe he's got 47 fumbles in his career. 47! That's a lot of fumbles. Take a look at Jared Goff. He's got a lot of yards, but, as they say, well, that yard is garbage. Well, I got to tell you, most of Jared Goff's touchdowns are screenplays, dink and dunks that Todd Gurley took to the house. And without Todd Gurley, he wasn't the same guy. So I'm not saying that Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in football, but I'm not going to go where all these other people are acting like there's 15 guys that you can get to replace him. If you took Dak Prescott off that team this year and put, say, Jacoby Brissett, you ain't winning 8 games. You're not. And I want you to think, Jacoby Brissett is getting $27 million. Carson Wentz is going to start having concussions too. Yeah? There you go, Dougie Fresh. Hey, where's Slick Rick? Dougie Fresh, you're right. That was the thing with Doug Williams, But he had the best second quarter in the history of the NFL on one leg. But I get it. No matter what, part of the problem is nobody's ever good enough for the Dallas Cowboys. Nobody is. And you can bring Tom Brady here, and I guess you know what's going to happen? Tom Brady stinks. No, Andy Dalton. Yeah, I'm tired of hearing that too, but you're going to hear that because you know what? It's the off season, and all these talking heads know It's polarizing. People will watch. And all I ask you to do is don't go by what the talking heads say. Don't go by what I say. What you do is you do your own research. Go out there and look at games like Carson Wentz against New Orleans, who threw 3 bad interceptions against them and gets blown the F out. Look around. Watch other quarterbacks play. Make up your own mind at what you see. And if you see from your own eyes and say, he misses this or he's below average, then fine, so be it. But don't be that guy that just says, get rid of Dak without a solution. Give me a solution. What is a solution that's viable? Heck, if it leads us to a Super Bowl and you're right, I'm going to be the first one to tell you, you're right. Man, I wish I had thought of that. But there's so many mindless idiots out there. Another note. I'll be at me too. Me too, trying to get there. The biggest Giant fan is trying to get there. Michael Anthony Fitness. We're going to be covered. You got that? Have you come up with a solution that's better than Dak Prescott? Because see, here's my thing. A lot of people will go through it. This is the philosophy I believe New England has. New England goes through. It's not about having 6 or 7 outstanding Pro Bowl players. Okay? Their philosophy is we need to go deep with players. We need to have guys that can play roles. We have guys that can do something different so that way we can keep people off balance. Okay? And so they end up having not holding on to like that. They would never sign a DeMarcus Lawrence for that kind of money. They would never sign a Zeke Elliott for the amount of money. What they do is, I got a quarterback, I got a system, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to let those guys walk, get compensatory picks, have more draft picks than anybody else. Let them play good, let them walk, and I'll get a couple free agents that will fit my bill. And that seems to have worked for them really well since they've gotten all of those Super Bowl victories. Yeah, Derek, that's you know what trading for Tom Brady is good for? Trading for Tom Brady is good for clicks. That's what that's good for. It's good for them to be able to talk about saying, oh, the Cowboys are going to trade for Tom Brady. You know, they'll talk about that, and then they'll say, well, the Raiders are going to try and sign him. They're going to go through, and because that's what they're trying to do. It's all about getting those views. And I think Brady does too. I think that they work out the deal that Tom Brady's just kind of playing that hardball. I need to cut these things. I got to cut some footballs out. Hold up. I'll be back in a second here. Bam! That's a walnut football. Ha! Okay. Tom Brady is not the same guy anymore. And you look at that system that Bill Belichick has, understand, Bill Belichick does not have losing quarterbacks. I don't care who he plugs in. Football. Tom Brady has had one of the best coaches in the history of football coaching it. That's Cherry. That's Cherry right there. Redskins hiring Jennifer King. Yeah, that's yeah. Congratulations to the Redskins being forward thinking. Now, if they would just get rid of the name, they come out perfect. Well, thank you. I don't know about being perfect. Just been doing this stuff for a long time since I was a kid. So sometimes it looks easier than what it may be. But I enjoy doing this stuff. And I gotta get these damn things done. The reason why Dak hasn't signed the deal yet, because he ain't gonna sit here and just, yeah, well, I tell you one thing. That's one person that takes a lot of abuse. Another football. 102 viewing, like a whole lot of got in trouble. Thoughts about changing the medal. Stop being a liberal. What? Dak will be a Charger soon. Do I have midnight green? As in like Eagles? Okay, I'll tell you what. For footballs, is midnight green the Eagles color, you mean? You mean like this? Yeah, I made, because I had to make samples up, so I've got an Eagles one right here. Or you could go through and have white laces on it. So we're doing different colors. See, like this is Cowboys home whites. Yeah, I can do one like that. If you, I tell you what. Basically, I'm doing them all in any coordination. How do you order? Go to cowboyjobu.com. Go all the way to the bottom of the page, and you can order them. And in the notes, say what you want. What, you know, what style you want. Because we're able to customize them however you want. Because look. Oh, that part's not screwed on, but burgundy and gold. Yeah. I need somebody to buy this one so I can get this shit out of my shop. But cowboysjobu.com, scroll all the way down and you can get it. Pay Dak, trade D-Law. Ain't nobody going to, I hate to say it, but nobody's going to take that contract to D-Laws. You would have, right. And that's the funny thing. I always love it. You'd have to sign him, you'd have to franchise tag him and then trade him. That's the only way you can try and trade that. So, the guy asking about the midnight greens, if you want that one, I can do that one for you and have it out right away. Because that one, I'd like to get that one. I had to make that as a sample for the site. I didn't want the stinking Giant fan with Giant color, so and eventually what I'm going to do is I'm going to end up getting a CNC machine. It's about $6,000, but with that, what I'll be able to do is, like, if I want to, like, let's say you got a picture of Emmitt Smith, I can have the machine actually route that out. Yeah, I heard about that he removed it from there. Interesting, because I'm curious why he would have done that. It's not like the Cowboys said we're not going to re-sign him, or maybe it's that that's his power move to try and say, okay, Cowboys, it's time for you to do a little something here. You haven't shown me any love or talked to me or my people, so I guess I'm getting on up out of here. Devin Frost, really? You know what? I'm with you. You know what? I'm not saying that Tom Brady isn't a great quarterback, but when you think about what teams are doing, trying to get a quarterback. Let's take the Washington Redskins, for example. They had Kirk Cousins. They figured Kirk Cousins isn't the guy for us, right? Kirk Cousins played pretty well. He's got decent numbers. And so we can do better. We'll get Alex Smith. He's a proven veteran, right? We'll get him. Freak accident. You pay him $60-some million. You pay him for 1 year. He doesn't make it through the season, and you're still paying him. So you're sitting there thinking, okay, then they go ahead, well, let's sign Case Keenum. You get that guy. Okay, let's draft a quarterback with the first pick. You draft that guy. You're not sold on him. So you could turn around and be the Washington Redskins with getting rid of Dak Prescott, thinking that the grass is greener on the other side. And that's where you got to look at this and say, you know what? And as much as the talking heads will say, well, you got to surround Dak Prescott with guys to win. Well, who do you not have to surround people with? Aaron Rodgers, he's not winning Super Bowls now that he doesn't have that great defense that he had before and the playmakers he had. They got to surround him with people. Otherwise, I could be playing in Dallas right now behind Tom Brady and they'd be winning Super Bowls, right? Everybody has to be surrounded with people that help them win. The quarterback gets all the credit, and the blame, but it's also those other guys. And we all look and say, Troy Aikman, you know, he was great, but he had the number one defense in football. The number one. And they took the ball away. They beat the crap out of people. Best comment. I'm listening to the comments more than Mark talking. Okay, well, all right. Well, that's cool. I tell you what, I'm going to go over here. Since that's cool. Hey, just hang with me. We got work to do anyway, because I need to sand this shit here, and you can listen. It's gonna be a little noisier because I got to turn on the dust collector. Let's put you over here. I got work to do because see, broke people, we got to work. When you broke, you got to do the job. Yeah. How nice it is. Hey. These rough cuts there. Another one. Man, I love this. Got one more. Yeah. That's another lesson for you guys. You guys that are saying, oh, well, you know, we can just draft another quarterback. Let's get Tua. Tua could have been Mitch Trubisky. The Bears traded up one place to take Mitch Trubisky. Man. Now watch this little. Yeah. Tell you, we're gonna take a little break here. Okay. We're gonna take a little breather here for a second. I want to show you guys. Okay, here's the. You guys are looking at me make this stuff, right? I'm making my football racks and everything. You're like, man, he makes that shit look easy, man. Anybody can do that. But one thing that you got to understand is you have to have the right tools. You can make do with, I mean, instead of having this edge sander, this 90-inch belt sander, right? Take a look at this thing. This thing's a beast. It's a beast. I tell you, look. You see this thing? Look at it. It is 6 inches by 90-inch belt. It's power. It's got dust collection. It will do the job like nobody else's business. Now, I could take this piece and I can sand it with this. That's the dust collector, but it's got dust in it. I can sand it with this. Each one of these, right? It sands it. It does pretty good, right? But guess what? Here's what I can do with this piece. I can take me 5 of these, put them together, sand all 5 exactly the same because I got the right tools. And when you have the right tools, you make a job look easy. And being in the NFL is the same thing. You got to have the right tools in order to put together a game plan that's going to win. You got to have that right defensive player to fit your system. You got to have the right calls made. You got to be able to adjust. You know, sometimes you're not going to do the easy stuff. Sometimes things get more difficult, and so you have to think a little differently and attack it differently. And that's the same thing with football. Unfortunately, sometimes we don't have the right tools to do the job the right way. So let me show you guys. Look at this. So you see, damn, I need to kill him. You see, all these are roughly cut, close to the same, right? Check this out. Now, that's 5 of them standing exactly the same. So having the right tools and the skills to use those tools make all the difference in the world. That's how we do it here. I'll get all these pieces put together, then Michael can put them on each end, and Michael can put them all together. That's my wife. Hold up. Alright, so I gotta finish sanding these pieces and then I gotta get ready to go to a friend's house. Mama said I gotta get cleaned up. player. One more step. Bam. That's it. I gotta get ready to go get cleaned up, take a shower, and go hang out with some friends for a bit. Take my dusty old ass. Actually, let me Speaking of being dusty old ass, let me get the compressor on. Hello, Cowboys family. You need to look at the top 5 paid quarterbacks. They're all listed. I know all the top 5. The top 5. Russell Wilson, Big Ben, Aaron Rodgers, Carson Wentz, Jared Goff, Matty Ice, Kirk Cousins, Jacoby Brissett. Shout out to William. Make sure you send me an email. Send me an email with your address on it so that way I can get you your Jobu Sports Report, Cowboy Jobu Mojo shot glass. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all being here. Just enjoy the day. Spend time with your family. See you soon.